So today I came across a tweet that I want to go through, and it was kind of a back and forth with a guy called Christian. And I do agree with what he's saying. It's about remote work and the virus that's going on at the moment. Now, I do believe in remote work, and I think everyone should work remotely because it does help the business, it helps output, and it helps saving money and making more money and stuff. It does help in all areas. But there are certain businesses that can't obviously work remotely, but those who can should be able to be given the opportunity to work remotely, especially with what's going on around the world right now with this virus. A lot of things have been closed down because there can't be meetings. And anyway, so I'm going to put up a tweet here, and this is his original tweet. I'm not going to play the video in the tweet, but basically I'm going to read it. So use this virus as an opportunity to show that remote work is a great alternative to the terrible open offices that we've got nowadays, which I completely agree. Burst the bubble of remote doesn't work by showing that it does. Now, again, I agree with this. I don't have a problem with this. The problem I have with it is the follow-up to it, because I basically said, I do agree with this. However, there's one thing businesses have to think about, and that's the technology that's set up correctly. Because I don't if the technology isn't set up correctly, if the workflow isn't set up by your business, basically you're not going to get any collaboration done. So making sure your company has the right tech stack to enable you to work remotely and collaboratively. So make sure that your business is set up correctly. Now, he replied with, I agree, but sometimes it's also down to you as an employee to purpose systems. Yes and no, and I'll get to that. Since that will show you understand what makes remote work, what remote work is all about. Now, yes, I agree. You have to explain to your company, your business, that remote work is actually going to help them. However, if you just willy-nilly get a work computer and put stuff on there that you're not supposed to put on there, and I'm going to get to that in a moment, that's bad for the business. It may be good for you, but it's bad for the business. Meaning, if you put an app or a system to work remotely on your computer, how do you know your colleague is using a different app or different collaboration tool? You have to have the right workflow, the right tools to be able to work collaboratively, and that it's secure, and that your IT department, if you have one, a lot of these companies generally don't, which just blows my mind, that they are able to access the data, not personal data, but access the data in the sense that if your computer gets lost, they need to be able to wipe the data and all the information on it, whatever. So you can't just wait for things to be handed to us. We need to drive this ourselves. Again, going back to what I just said, it's not your computer. It's a business computer, and a business is in business to make money and to make sure that their data is safe. So if you're using their computer and putting a bunch of crap on there that you shouldn't be doing, the IT department's going to get a headache, just are. And if you don't have an IT department, the data is probably not safe. That means the business is going to get screwed over somehow. So then I basically reply with, you'd be surprised what the IT department won't allow what you can do with the devices given to you by the business. It's not your computer. So even though I agree with you, we agree with each other to a certain degree, it's not something that an employee can do due to security and stuff, which I've talked about. So again, it's up to the business what you can put on the work device. It's up to the business to figure out what their workflow is, what your workflow should be. If you, as I said earlier, if you work remotely on Google Docs, fantastic, great, everyone has access to it, but is there a workflow for meetings? Is there a workflow for communication? Is there a workflow for email? I mean, I don't think anyone should send emails internally within your business, but is there some sort of a framework or a workflow? So you can't go around willy-nilly using your business supplied device, put a bunch of stuff on there, not knowing what you're doing, not necessarily knowing what you're doing, and then having good output in the sense that everything is done. Because your colleagues don't know where the files are if you're doing that. They won't know how you're communicating unless it's WhatsApp and you're doing something completely wrong. So again, however much I want to agree with Christian, and I do agree with working remotely, but you need to make sure that your tech stack, your workflow, your framework is set up by your business. And there's only one way of doing that, is by getting someone within the business to actually do this and create this. And that's it. And then work remotely. Make sure your business is set up to work remotely. Just getting a computer off the shelf and working remotely ain't cutting it. I agree with the overall sentiment that Christian is talking about. We need to show businesses that remote work is a thing and can work and does work. But we can't be running around like headless chickens just getting computers and start typing away. It ain't going to happen, and it's going to cause way more problems than you think it will. Anyway, I'll leave the episode there. Have a great day. Tomorrow's Friday. I will see you then. And as always, keep it simple, but think about what you're trying to keep simple. Don't just run around like a headless chicken. I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao. Bye-bye.